Om Namo Narayanaaya. Om Namo Narayanaaya. Yes, great friends, welcome you all. Thank you for giving this delight of being with you, the wonderful sadhakas. Let these days be spent memorable with our serious, sincere efforts of tuning to the Rishi Parampara through the Upanishads and through the Rishis to the truth itself. Great endeavor. May the depth of intensity, Shraddha, etc., grow in us day by day in these endeavors, which is very essential for getting the desired, expected results of spiritual understandings, practices, as well as experiences. It will happen more sincerity application if we are able to do it. Let us try. All this is trying honestly, trying sincerely, trying innocently, trying with full Shraddha in the goal as well as in the divine. Friends, like every day, today also we are here to do our five aspects to invoke the Parabrahma, Ishvara, Jagannatha, Devata Gana, Guru Gana, Shastra Gana, Kripa for our Vyaktitva Vikasa outside as well as mainly the inside spiritual. Loka Sevaka Adi up to Manana Karta, Chintana Karta, Nididhyasana Karta, Anubhavi. The five aspects we cover are the Veda Parayanam, the common sense thought, the Mangala Acharana Shloka with Sankalpa, Upanishad Mantra Ucharana, Upanishad Mantra Adhyanam with Bhashyam. Let us start in our Veda Parayanam. It is Rigveda Parayanam, 7th Mandalam, 89th Anuvaka onwards. Let us see how many we can chant. Start. Om Atha Veda Parayanam Rigvedaha Saptama Mandalam Atha Ekonanavatitam Anuvakad Arabhya. Om Moshu Varuna Mrunmayam Gruham Rajannahangamam Mruda Sukshatram Mrudaya Yademi Praspuranniva Dhrutirnadmato Adrivaha Mruda Sukshatram Mrudaya Kratvaha Samaha Deenata Pratipam Jagamashuche Mruda Sukshatram Mrudaya अपां मध्ये तस्थिवांसं तृष्णाविदज्जरिधारं मृडासुक्षत्रमृडया यत्किञ्चेदं वरुणदैव्ये जनेभिद्रोहं मनुष्याश्चरामसि अचित्तीयत्तव धर्मा युयोऽपिममानस्तस्मादेन सो देवरीरिषः प्रवीरयाशु च यो दद्रिरे वामध्वर्युभिर्मधुमन्तः सुतासः वहवायो नियुतो याह्यच्छापि वा सुतस्यान्धसोमदाय ईशानाय प्रहुतिं यस्त आनट् शुचिं सोमं शुचिपास्तुभ्यं वायो कृणोषितं मर्त्येषु प्रशस्तं जातो जातो जायते वाज्यस्य रायेनुयं जिज्ञतूरोदसी मे राये देवी दिशणाधाति देवम् अध वायुं नियुतः सश्च तस्वा उत श्वेतं वसुधितिं निरेकेत् उच्छन्नुषसः सुदिना अरिः प्रा उरु ज्योतिर्विविधुर्दीध्यानाः गव्यं चिदूर्वमुषिजो विववृस्तेषामनु प्रदिवः सस्रुराभः ते सत्येन मनसा दीध्यानाः स्वेन युक्तास क्रतुना वहन्ते इन्द्रवायो वीरवाहं रथं वामीशानयोरविवृक्ष सचन्ते ईशानासो ये ददते स्वर्णो गोभिरश्वेभिर्वसुभिर्हिरण्यैः इन्द्रवायो सूरयो विश्वमायुरर्वद्भिर्वीरैः पृतनासु सह्युः अर्वन्तो न श्रवसो भिक्षमाणा इन्द्रवायो सुष्ठुतिभिर्वसिष्ठाः वाजयन्त स्ववसे हुवेम यूयं पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः 91 कुविदङ्गनमसाये वृदास पुरा देवा अनवद्यास आसन् ते वायवे मनवे वादिताया वासयन्नुषसं सूर्येण उशन्ता दूतानदभाय गोपामासश्च पात शरदश्च पूर्वीः इन्द्रवायुसुष्टुतिर्वामि याना मार्ढीकमीट्टे सुवितञ्च नव्यम् पीवो अन्नारयिवृदः सुमेधाः श्वेतहसि शक्तिनियुतामभिश्रीः ते वायवे समनसो वितस्तुर्विश्वेन्नर स्वपत्यानि चक्षुः यावत्तरस्तन्वो यावदोजो यावन्नरश्चक्षसा दीध्यानाः शुचिं सोमं शुचिपापातमस्मे इन्द्रवायो सदतं बर्हिरेदं नियुवाना नियुत स्पार्हवीरा इन्द्रवायो सरथं यातमर्वाक इदं हि वां प्रभृतं मध्वो अग्रमध प्रीणाना विमुक्तमस्मे यावां शतं नियुतो याः सहस्रमिन्द्रवायो विश्ववाराः सचन्ते आभिर्यातं सुविदत्राभिरर्वाक्पातं नरा प्रतिभृतस्य मध्वः अर्वन्तो न श्रवसो भिक्षमाणा इन्द्रवायो सुष्ठुतिभिर्वसिष्ठाः वाजयन्तः स्ववसे हुवेम यूयं पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः 92 आवायो भूषशुचिपा उपनः सहस्रन्ते नियुतो विश्ववार उपोते अन्धो मध्यमयामि यस्य देवददिशे पूर्वपेयम् प्रसोता जीरो अध्वरेष्वस्थात् सोम मिन्द्राय वायवेऽपि बध्यै प्रयद्वां मध्वो अग्र्यं भरन्त्यध्वर्यवो देवयन्त शचीभिः प्रयाभिर्यासि दाश्वां समच्छानियुद्भिर्या वायविष्टये दुरोणे निनोरयिं सुभोजसं युवस्व निवीरं गव्यमश्व्यं चराधः ये वायव इन्द्रमादनास आदेवासो निशतोषनासो अर्यः घ्नन्तो वृत्राणि सूरिभिः श्यामसा सह्वांसो युधानृभिरमित्रान् आनो नियुद्भिः शतिनिभिरध्वरं सहस्रणीभिरुपयाहि यज्ञम् वायो अस्मिन् सवने मादयस्व यूयं पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Thank you friends for taking part in this sacred activity of Veda Mantrocharana. Every day please open that book or soft copy and then join this chanting even while looking with the eyes. Mind mentally chanting or even tuning also is a very, very good achievement. Please, let's try. Somehow the Lord has given us that thought to do the daily Veda Parayanam. Lucky, isn't it? How many are doing that work? Tell me. And if not, if we take initiative in this class, where else we find the interest and time? Right. Now, Friends, in today's very precise, short, common sense thought, the discussion is on this point. Key, let us make ourselves. This is the thought today. Let us make ourselves. The question is, are we not making ourselves now? Answer is yes as well as no also. Because it is more than we making ourselves consciously by taking ourselves into confidence, we are allowing many other aspects to make us, isn't it? We are allowing outside the people to make us. We are allowing outside the objects to make us. We are allowing the outside situations to make us. We are just as if becoming helpless molders or molded beings by them, victimized by them, rather than ourselves taking ourselves into our hands consciously, knowingly, wantingly making ourselves. For whatever reasons of ignorances or of weaknesses or more of inhibitions and most of fears. These are the continuous things that go on in us because of which we, instead of fully taking ourselves into our hands, we put ourselves in the hands of others and they make us, they mold us as per their want and choice rather than as we have to be. Coolly think about it. Okay, those days are gone. It went on happening like that. Maybe because we were less informed or uninformed, or many other clouds in our understandings. Now, let the clouds wither away. Let the sun of understanding shine brightly in us. What is that sun of understanding? The sun, says Shivan, sun is we have to make ourselves. Let us take ourselves into our hands and let us make ourselves. This is the first and foremost thought. Do we agree? Just to see. And what can that stop us? What should that stop us? And what in the world has the right and authority to stop us? Think about all that. And how long and how far we just let ourselves loose onto others that they mold us, use us for their purposes. Okay. And not only the outer things, inner things also, we allow them to make us. Isn't it? The things inner are our own Dehendriya, Prana, Mano, Buddhi, Upadhi. And actually, it starts from this and goes to the outer world. So we allow these upadhis to make us. We just let ourselves loose to them for them to decide what we have to be. Out of ignorance, now let us have that knowledge that we can and we should and we shall make ourselves. First question or first point. Think cool, discuss with anybody or discuss with yourself. Second, if we have taken up this project of making ourselves, the second question is what we want to make ourselves. Think. We have to have a clarity. Clarity comes only when we start thinking deeply, thinking to the point, thinking unbiased way. It's absolutely subjective. I cannot and should not command your thinking. You may ask for some guidance, help I may do to the best of my abilities, yet that should not fully be trusted. You have to use your discretion. So too, you should not be allowed to decide my thinking. You can help me if I need. Still, I should trust more myself than you. That's the meaning of taking oneself into one's hand and thinking. Thinking about what? What we want to make ourselves of. If at all we want to make. So the main topic is making ourselves. अपने आप को बनाओ. Okay, so think in what ways we can make ourselves. As I say, the regular discussion, but more precisely, more clearly. क्या do we want to make ourselves millionaire, multimillionaire? We want to make ourselves a very popular, well-known personality in the world. Yes, in what sense? You want to be a famous person by being a politician, by being a dramatist or the artist, or you want to become famous by being a sports person, or by any social worker, or any of the profession. What do you want to make yourself? These are all the things I can make myself, isn't it? We can make definitely famous ourselves in these many ways. Professionally famous, monetarily famous, contributionally famous, politically famous, or you can be a famous author, a writer. You know? So many hundreds and thousands of things are there which we can make ourselves as. Dekh lo, which is suitable, which is makeable or possible in the world. You can make a good friend of 100 friends. You can make yourself a good relative among your own relations. You can make yourself a nature loving person or a person who loves life, the other than human being life. How many people are not making themselves one or these things? And they are in limelight, they are famous, they are welcomed, they are respected, they are rewarded, they are awarded. Oh, going on. Take yourself in your hands and think among them what you can make yourself. This is one side of it. The other side of ourselves making is what? Make a very good, healthy, strong personality physically. Even at the age of 70, 75, 80, one can start. Maybe late, but need not be too late. That go to a guru, yoga, pranayama, slowly from him learn and start practicing. Then you can make yourself a very healthy personality. There's so many institutions in the world, in the country, where we go stay some 10 days, 20 days, 1 month. They study us thoroughly, our physical body. They just see what are the things that can be eliminated, added to make us healthy, and they give all those treatments, make us fit, healthy, give all the tips to us for us to remain. So, definitely, we can enjoy making ourselves a healthy, strong personality, living long. It's so beautiful. What's wrong? अच्छी बात है कि नहीं जब हम फिजिकली फिट है तो उसके लिए बनाना पड़ता है अपने आप को एंड वन हैज टू डेडिकेट and 100 aspects are there in it of so many disciplines, so many things to be done every day. It's not just one thing done and left to itself that it will happen. No, every minute aspect has to be taken into account to achieve this goal of making ourselves healthy physically. And it's a challenge, it's a great challenge, it's great that endeavor is because that gives the joy of being healthy in contrast with the continuous misery and suffering of attacked by one or the other diseases. Do you want to make yourself like that? Welcome. Or in any other aspects, we want to make ourselves of our own personality. How beautiful it is. that I decided myself to make a person of all inner values fully gained mastered and practiced all whichever, whenever, wherever required with full awareness. Is it not a noble wish, noble desire? But have we ever thought of it? Have we taken ourselves into confidence, ourselves, and keeping such things as goals? Have we tried to make ourselves? There are people in this world who are trying that I want to be a person of values, even it is Kali Yuga, even if it is full of all negative values around, even if it is at the cost of my own all other richnesses or etc. Means let me live in poverty, never mind. Let nobody respect me, never mind. Nobody befriend me, never mind. But still, I want to be a person of values. And some people are making so. They may not be in the picture limelight. They may not be known to the world much. And there are many people such ones. Principled persons, valued person of values. They may be small little ones, the value of their self-discipline, value of their honesty, value of their non-stealing, value of their living in minimum, value of their talking with mrudu madhura to others, value of forgiving. So many. If you count, there are hundreds of principles of the values one can adopt and master them. And I am the person of values. You may not be rich, you may not be popular. He has not worked for that. But this is what he wanted to make himself. He made in this way what personality we want to make ourselves. But it is in our hands. We have to take till the date we don't take ourselves into our hands and consciously, wholeheartedly, full efforts we put, we will never be able to achieve something substantial and enjoy that achievement and enjoy that doing in total, enjoy that opportunity of life. Human. I think same topic in the evening, Sri Ramachandra Bhagwan is speaking in Purajana Gita. है ना मानुष तनु दुर्लभ आकर लाख आकर चारी लक्ष चौरासी है ना 4 आकारों में 84 लाख योनियों में भटकता भटकता sometime by the karuna kripa bhagwan we get a human life है ना मोक्षकर धाम साधन धाम मोक्षकर द्वारा how beautifully Sri Ramji told what a beautiful topic in the evening class in that our Uttarakhand Ramayana. So see if you are hesitating to think contemplate at the very first place only we have failed. Then we leave ourselves to the others. They mold us for their own utility. And they use us and throw us as a tissue paper. And then we are no achiever for our own selves. Then the regret, the guilt, the failure, the misery in us felt that I have not achieved something, I have not done something it is not removable easily. Kimahagam sadhuna karavam, kimahagam papam akaravam is like this one. Here the papa means what? I let myself to my children to rule me, my brothers, sisters to rule me, my neighbors to rule me. Everybody I allowed. Guru and God I never allowed them. I ruled them. I ordered them. I dominated them. Of course, not vocally outside, but silently inside. By never going to them, by never listening to them, by never asking them, by never avoiding to them, etc. etc. Anyway, so what way I want to make myself is a big question. Enough. Now the other two things which we can make ourselves are see the great devotees that are there in the world of the past and of the present. बनाना है अपने आप को एक परम भक्त. Not a less achievement it is, not as a mean achievement. So beautiful it is, isn't it? Think about it. Like Narada. Anytime he has passport visa to go to Brahmaloka meet Brahmadeva, devotee hai. Vaikuntha Loka and meet Vishnu Bhagavan, devotee hai. Can go to Kailas and meet Shivji, devotee hai. And all Brahma Vishnu Maheshwara will come into his heart wherever he is there when he meditates. Doing the commanding, no? Think about Hanumanji, you know, Rama Lakshmana Sita Manavasiya. Both Rama Lakshmana Sita इनके मन में बसते हैं और he is in the mana of Rama Lakshmana Sita. Not a mere meager achievement, no? Vanara Jati में जन्म लिए, somewhere he was with Sugriva, but he wanted to make himself. He tried and he achieved. See that there is no temple where there is no Hanumanji in a Rama temple. There are hundreds of Hanuman temples without Ramji. है कि नहीं? राम मंदिर नहीं होता हनुमान जी के बिना मैक्सिमम हनुमान जी का मंदिर होता है राम जी की जरूरत है भाई इन हनुमान जी देर इज राम लखन सीता बसिया तो ही made like that no how many hundreds of examples of the bhaktas of the past starting from the Kruta Yuga of Prahlada Adi the Treta Yuga the example of the Hanuman Adi the Dwapara Yuga the Sudhamas and the what do you call them the Akruras or the Gopikas how many great devotees and in the Kali Yuga plenty at different levels depths heights bhaktas are there even now open your eyes and see all over our Bharata Mata in every of the Rashtra if we focus the lens of your eyes you will find plenty of them साइलेंटली सीटेड कोई किसी मठ में बैठे कोई किसी आश्रम में बैठे कोई किसी मंदिर में बैठे कोई किसी नदी के किनारे बैठे कोई अपने ही घर में दरवाजे बंद कर दे आर इन देयर ओन भक्ति पारवश्य दे आर इन do you want to make yourself like that welcome why not and the results the outcome of that we all know great it is wonderful do you want to make be clear about first note down how many ways I can make myself. All is in my hands. Everything can be made possible. Not knowing it, for various reasons, I allowed myself to be molded by the world. Now I will mold myself with my wisdom, with my efforts. Possibilities 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20. What is the thing which you feel better or best? है ना? What is better or best? Thousands of times Shastras tell, Gurus tell. But after that, they keep quiet. Now you use your intellect, you use your discretion. है ना? In case of Arjunas, where they are in confusion, Dharma Sammoda Chetaha, then they ask the Lord with full faith, Yat Shreya Syat. What is the Shreyas, O Lord? In what way I have to mold myself? Because of the total Shraddha Yukta Sharanagati, faith and total surrender. The Lord tests Arjuna. Very subtle he is. He is Sarvantaryami. That is, Shraddha in Sharanagati is not only at the vocal lip level. It is from the core and depth of him. Well trained by his parents, Kunti Mata and Pandu Maharaj, etc. So therefore Bhagavan takes up. Because you asked for the Shreyas, Shreyas is only in one, not two, and that is in the Atma Jnana Prapti. Straight away Bhagavan started giving the Atma Jnana, Tattva Jnana. And you and I must be surprised to see the Atma Jnana as given by Lord Krishna in the very first 18-20 shlokas of Gita, second chapter, where in that Bhayankara Yuddha Kshetra, where around 20 lakhs of people are arrayed to kill each other, ready with all the weaponry. Think. That's because of the person was ready. He was in question, he was in doubt, he is ready to listen, ready to understand. He had Shraddha in Krishna, Sharanagati. So Bhagavan gave it. Now, in our case also, this is another possibility. Perhaps, if we agree, with your thinking, it's the best possibility. Do you want to make yourself the Tattvanubhavi, the Atmanubhavi, the Brahmanubhavi? Then it is the best one, isn't it? That is also in our hands. Okay. Now, after putting in front all the possibilities of making ourselves, let us discuss about, if at all we have chosen the last possibility. And first, second, third, okay, the fourth one, yes, I want to make myself the Adhyatmik. Now, even the other three things, whichever we want to make ourselves as, let us now further deeply think, ponder and think with concentrated, single pointed mind that if I have to make myself like this, what are the not required? Harinarayana Bhajanarayana 31 minutes, 4 minutes. Harinarayana Bhajanarayana. The bhaktas of the past, starting from the Yuga of Prahlada Adi, the Treta Yuga, in case of Arjuna's, ready to listen, ready to understand the action of the Krishna. Not first, second, third, okay? Fourth, yes. Om Namo Narayana. Yes, I couldn't observe it. Sorry, friends. Now we are back onto the sequence. So we were discussing about making ourselves the third aspect of should we make ourselves the bhaktas, not a mean achievement, great achievement. I know. Then the other thing also is there possibility in this world to make ourselves. The fourth aspect of it is what? Making ourselves the Tattva-anubhavi, making ourselves the Atma-anubhavi, making ourselves the Brahma-anubhavi. Are there not the people who have achieved it right from the beginning of creation till now? Even now, how many of the great Atma-anubhavi saints and sages are there? And how many of the deep, serious, sincere sadhakas, while trying for it, have already reached to the great heights? So therefore, that also is very covetable, very beautiful. Perhaps if we are unbiased to listen, proclaimed by all Shastras that it is the greatest and highest achievement. It's the greatest achievement, highest achievement. Tattva Anubhavi, Atma Anubhavi. Okay. Now, discussion number two. First discussion is, first discussion was take ourselves into our hands and make ourselves. Second discussion was among thousands of possibilities of making ourselves, we categorized them into four. Among those four में से एक outer वाला हो गया, second शरीर स्थायी वगैरह, including the values, third as a devotee we discussed, in between many are there, I am leaving it to your discussion. Fourth one is making ourselves to be the Atmanubhavi, the Brahmanubhavi, the Tattvanubhavi. Now among them, for our further discussion, let us take the fourth one. If at all we want to make ourselves the fourth choice, think about it. Now, one discussion is done. Second discussion starts. That for anything to make ourselves for us, there are two very important aspects. One, what is not required, therefore that should be kept aside. And what is required, therefore that should be taken up. As simple as that, as common sense as that. What's difficult in it? Like if you have to make chapati, then I need the chakla and belan, gunda atta, फिर you make it. No, that day when I decided to make rice, what will you do with the chakla belan? You won't do it on. You need other patila or the what you call the cooker, etc. to cook it. In life, isn't it? In every of the examples, you can see when you want to make one thing, what's required for that, that alone you take. If you want to stitch the cloth, you have to have the stitching machine only, no, not the other thing. So, what is required, what is not required, we must know both. What's not required, see, we have to have the ability to keep them away. What's required, we should also have the ability to adapt them. Now, देखो, when the Lakshya is to make ourselves Atmanubhavi, first thing is, therefore, what is not required, so that we can keep them away. Now, listen the interesting sequence of thoughts, three or four. We'll quickly do it to enter into our Upanishadic study. This is Upanishad only. When our goal is to make ourselves the Atmanubhavi, the first and foremost thing which we are not required, we don't require, which is not required by us, is obviously simple common sense thought is that which is anatma. है कि नहीं? When our goal is atma vastu or making ourselves the atma anubhavi, what purpose job we have with the anatma? Think coolly, unbiased, in a relaxed manner. है कि नहीं? Like no need. So, and what are the anatma in me? The dehendriya prana mano buddhi. So therefore, I don't need them. Now see the next thought. If I don't need the Dehendra Pranamana Buddhi, doesn't mean that commit suicide and give them up and die. Be alive. Sadhana is to be done while being alive. So if these upadhis themselves are not required because they are anatma and because I want to make myself atmanubhavi, then how can we attend to? I require or need things which strengthen my identity with them, which strengthen my slavery to them. सोच लो, मुझे उन्हीं से ही कोई लेना देना नहीं है, तो उनके लिए जो चीजें चाहिए, हाउ कैन आई नीड देम? कूल, calm and quiet, think. Now the next thought is very interesting. If you catch it, you have done it to be given by someone after 10 years. In between the 10 years, we have to work to become mature. 10 साल में एक बार सोचने वाली बात. What is it? कि if my goal is to make myself the Atmanubhavi, therefore when I don't need the Dehendra Prana Manobuddhyadi because they are an Atma, therefore I don't need the things which are required for them. Then how can I become a slave to, especially the people who provide those things to me because I don't need those things. Like if I don't need to buy a shoe, why should I go to a shoe shopkeeper and request him, beg him, and bargain with him, bhai, itne ka hai, thoda kam kar de do. And why I have to go into the whole shoe brands and look for them and inquire about the cost? Kya zarurat hai? Because I don't need. Are you understanding it? How we have to use the viveka and how we have to create the vairagya in us. अब ये चीज चाहिए ही नहीं मुझे, ये चीज देने वाले व्यक्तियों से मुझे उनका गुलाम क्यों बनना है? Because I don't need that thing, because those things are required for the anatma and I have to reject the Anatma because my goal is to become Atmanubhavi. See, because of the lack of clarity of all these things at every step, when there is no clarity, obviously the other alternative is confusion. And whenever there is confusion, they immediately the past experiences, vasanas, overpower to decide. And they all overpower to decide us to go for all the things. Because the clarity is not there. And every moment, this clarity has to be kept all the time. I want to make myself this. For this, these things are not required. Therefore, those things which strengthen these things also are not required. Therefore, those provisions, providing things or beings which provide them, I'm not required. I don't require them. Isn't it? Now, one by one thing, I don't want to explain it is. You think about yourself. Therefore, for what we have to be slaves to the people? It's a big subject. I have data in my mind to talk to you for more than 1 hour, but I leave it to your thinking, everyone's discussion. For what things we are slaves to people emotionally, how they are blackmailing us, how we are giving all our time to them, how we are giving all our energy to them, either the people or the objects. That's because something from them we want. And that's because we want to make ourselves happy at the upadhi levels. That's because we are not the seekers of Atmanubhava. That means we don't want to make ourselves the Atmanubhavi, which is the ultimate. We want to make ourselves Sukhi only at the upadhi level. So at the very first thought only we are going wrong, isn't it? And what's wrong in making ourselves happy at the Anatma Tadatma level? They're all impermanent. They're all at the higher level, actually illusory. They're all deluding only. In that illusion and delusion, kya hota hai na? The real reality is hidden. Like the youth, in their illusion and delusion, that with the boy or the girl with whom they are in love, that they give the happiness, they are the well wishers. In that illusion, is he not forgetting that his real well wisher is his own parents? Think about it. Very subtle thought. In how many cases in our life, because of our illusion and delusion, we have become slaves to the wrong things and we have detached, dissociated ourselves from the right things. That's the power of moha. जो सत्य है, जो नित्य है, उससे हमें दूर ले जाता है. That's the biggest liability if one is seeking the anatma sukha. If you are ready to go for it, go. That's what we are doing anyway. Then continue. Many people are continuing. You can also. Then go through for 10 lives, 20 lives, these experiences. Then either we may become matured in these 20 lives that these are all incomplete, these are temporary. Let me go for complete and permanent. Or while going through those 10 lives, we may get kicked left and right. At least at that time we may realize. Or while going through that, like this, we may be exposed to the gurus and masters. Maybe in these next 10, 20 lives, their words may become effective in us in choosing to be the Atmanubhavi. At that time, then we only will think in this way. If my goal is to make myself the person of realization of self, what I have with the not self, when I have nothing to do with the not self, why should I cater to its needs, demands? When the needs and demands of it are not to be catered, then why I have to depend on those beings, things, etc., which provide them because I don't need them. See, out of this deep thinking understanding, those strong decisions, those people in those days, even now, used to take of saying goodbye to all those. With all maturity inside, simplicity and humbleness outside. This is what is said in all great Upanishads, etc. You know, that shloka of बृहदारण्यक उपनिषद एक श्लोक उसके ऊपर 294 श्लोकास of textbook is written by one whole chapter by our Panchadashikara Vidyaranya Muni. You know what is that one shloka? Atmanam chet vijaniyat ayam asmiti purushaha kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anusanjanet. And same thing in Vivek Chudamani, deham pushnati tattvit. When my goal is an Atma, then what I have to do with the Anatma? This thought deeply should go into us. Isn't it? Think about it. When my goal is this, I have to make myself this. What I have to do with all that? Isn't it? Like at a little lower level example. When my goal is to bring my mind into single pointedness, then how can I allow my mind to revel in those things which distract my mind? ये तो contradiction हो गया ना. More grosser example, that when I have to increase my bank balance, then how can I be a spendthrift to spend money on every new item that's coming in the market? That's contradiction, isn't it? Like when I want 10 people to be around me as friends, how can I be selfish and angry with them? They go opposite, they're contradictory. Think about it. बैंक बैलेंस होना है तो आपको एक्सपेंसेस कम करना है, माइंड को कंसंट्रेशन में लाना है, तो वेयर द माइंड इज गेटिंग डिस्ट्रैक्टेड यू हैव टू अवॉइड बिकॉज़ दे आर रॉन्ग, दे आर कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी. So to we have to make my mind awake and alert. How can I allow my mind to be exposed to those things by which the mind is made dull, the mind is made tamoguni, the mind is made nidrana? How can I allow? Contradiction, no? That means the thinking is not clear or complete, therefore understanding is not clear. If this clarity of thinking, clarity of understanding is not there, then the performance also will be confusing. Kabhi ye, kabhi wo. Kyun kar rahe pata hi nahi. That's called the delusion. We are all in that. That's why the two important aspects. Question one, do you want to make yourself or allow the world to mold you continuously? Second, if you want to make yourself, what you want. Third, therefore, if you want to make yourself this, then what are not required, first avoid them. Then obviously what are required? If I want to be an Atmanubhavi, what is required to me? Inside is that Antakarana, Shuddha Ekagra Ityadi. What is required to me is a Guru and my Sharanagati to Guru. What is required for me is the Tattva Upadesha from the Guru. What is required for me is that solitude where I do the Chintana on this Tattva. These are the things required, then procure them. These are the things not required, reject them. Isn't it? So, as simple as that, if we are able to think clearly, understand clearly, then continue. This is what I want to make myself. For that, these are the things required. I am in search of procuring them. हमारा problem, even if we have, because of faith, desire to be spiritually growing, but to grow spiritually we have to become antarmukha, but we are most of the time bahirmukha only. Again, in our chitta, we have to be free from every of the objects, anatma, but again our entertainment is about anatma only. All of that shows our immaturity. That immaturity is not an abuse, it is to indicate to us that we have to grow in that. Like, is it not an immaturity to a youngster that is wasting all his time and energy in outer things and he wants to achieve a great scores in his studies or in interviews? अरे तुमको इसमें आगे बढ़ना है तो how can you be in that? That child has to mature from within. And the one who matures, he is different category. He just knows the art of managing himself. He closes all doors. He is just preparing daily 16 hours only to get to that job. That's why all those who succeed in civil services, everyone without any exception, ask them, all of them say this only कि मुझे ये पाना है, इसके लिए इतना मेहनत करना है, उसके लिए मुझे बंद दरवाजा करना है, मैंने यही किया इसलिए मुझे मिला. He says, I never seen movie from last 5 years. I never seen TV. No friends, nothing doing. Then only I could gather my mind, my energies, my memory power, concentration power, intellect sharpness to study my subject through which I want to get into this civil service, whatever it is. And in the world also to achieve this type of commitments and maturity is required. What to talk about Adhyatmikata? है ना, बचपना में रहते हुए, बचपना को ही प्रोत्साहित करते हुए आध्यात्मिक प्रगति तो असंभव है. खिलवाड़ थोड़ी है ये. इट्स नॉट ए गेम, नो, इट्स नॉट ए स्पोर्ट्स, नॉट ए सिंपल थिंग. So therefore, simple. What you want to make, and for that, what is to be given up, what is to be taken up. Be wise. Strengthen this knowledge, then the courage, the conviction, the confidence, the willpower to say no to that to which the no has to be said, and to say yes to that to which the yes has to be said. This is what is the Purusharth. And this is happening. And the coaches, the gurus, etc., they clap for us. Yeah, he's doing well. Like you see cricket match mein, when the batsman is hitting 4 6s, अब कोच को देखो, बीच बीच में कैमरा वहां फोकस करते हैं. He is jumping, he is clapping, he is smiling, he is shaking hands with the other coach or assistant coach. क्योंकि जैसा हमने कहा हो वैसा हो उस बॉलर के बॉल फेस कर रहा है. Isn't it? On the other hand, if this fellow is not able to hit the fours or even singles भी नहीं ले और defend ही नहीं, every ball is getting beaten. Look at the face of the coach. अरे इसको इतना समझाए कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा. Then they are disappointed. In the same way, the bowling coach. If he is making all dot balls, taking the wickets, see the joy of the coach. I was full toss डाल रहे, all 6 4 चले जा रहे. See the face of the coach. So the coaches of all our Rishi Gurus, some of them outside scene, many are silently, subtly working on us. They will get happy, enchanted, seeing us doing well. Then they take more interest in us. And we surrender to them, we listen to them, we perform well. Then those coaches will take us into confidence. The fellow is also bowler, but he doesn't surrender completely, nor listen, nor implement the things. Then coach will ऊपर से उसको बोलेगा ऐसा करना है तो कर नहीं तो. You won't take him into confidence because he is not surrendering. In the same way, why the gods, why the gurus are not coming into our life to help us, to coach us well is because we lack these things. So inculcate them and make oneself. No other thing can be a greater mission than making ourselves. Think coolly. Very important subject. Very rarely we discuss such things under the heading of common sense, but this is the highest sense. Om, Om, Om. Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. Om Sukrute Dhikrute Bahudha Bhavato Bhavita Samadharshana Lalasata Atidinamimam Paripalaya Mam Bhava Shankara Deshikame Sharanam. Om Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Samasta Brahma Vidyacharya ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो श्वेताश्वतरो उपनिषदाचार्यभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां कृपया उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्य बोध प्राप्ति मुक्ति प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं कृष्ण यजुर्वेदीय श्वेताश्वतरो उपनिषदः आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्नं वयं सर्वे मोक्षार्थं करिष्यामहे। ओम नित्यानन्दं निराधारं निखिलाधारमवेयं निगमाद्यगतं नित्यं नीलकण्ठं नमाम्यहम्। सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। अथ चतुर्थोऽध्यायः। Just chant mantras 14, 15, 16, 17. Four of them. ॐ सूक्ष्मातिसूक्ष्मं कलिलस्य मध्ये विश्वस्य स्रष्टारमनेकरूपं विश्वस्यैकं परिवेष्टितारं ज्ञात्वा शिवं शान्तिमत्यन्तमेति स एव काले भुवनस्य गोप्ता विश्वाधिपः सर्वभूतेषु गूढः यस्मिन् युक्ता ब्रह्मर्षयो देवताश्च तमेवं ज्ञात्वा मृत्युपाशान्श्छिनत्ति घृतात् परं मण्डमिवाति सूक्ष्मं ज्ञात्वा शिवं सर्वभूतेषु गूढं विश्वस्यैकं परिवेष्टितारं ज्ञात्वा देवम् उच्यते सर्वपाशैः एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लुप्तः य एतद् विदुः अमृताः ते भवन्ति। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। द्वासुपर्णा सयुजा सखाया समानं वृक्षं परिषस्व जाते तयोः अन्यः विप्पलं स्वादु अत्ति अनश्नन् अन्यो अविचाकशीति समाने वृक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नः अनीशया शोचति मुह्यमानः जुष्टं यदा पश्यति अन्यम् ईशम् अस्य महिमानम् इति वीतशोकः। Friends, very complete shloka, very gambhira shloka, very deep shloka, and very essentially to be understood shloka or the mantra. General meaning and the meaning with bhashya. In that general meaning, in this shloka, in first two lines, how we get bound is explained. The next two lines, how we get liberated is explained. Getting bound is being that Jiva Pakshi Pippalam Swadu Atti. Getting liberated is to be the Paramatma Pakshi. Anashnan Anyaha Avichakashit. As simple as that. Nothing much difficult so much. If you are attentive, if you are deep, conscious, concentrating while listening. Okay. How this Jiva Pakshi continues to be Jiva, continues to suffer, and continues to limit himself, put himself in limitations, continues to put himself in delusions. In this mantra it is said. First, Vrukshe Nimagnaha. Second, Muhyamanaha. Third, Anisha. Fourth, therefore, Shochat. Exactly what we saw now in the common sense thought. What is the common sense thought and connection here? First mistake is we are not making the Atma Anubhavi as our goal. Therefore, we are wanting to be happy with Anatma. But the Anatma is illusory, delusory. Then, first of all, how can it give happiness? Second, how can it give permanent happiness? This not knowing is called as moha. Therefore, we are in slavery to them, Anisha. Therefore, nothing but Shochat. And why all of that? First word, Vrukshe Nimagnaha. The Vruksha is Shariradi Anatma. Nimagnam is Pakadke Rakhe, Chipakke Rakhe. See, we are holding on to the objects and people. Through them, we are holding on to our own upadhis. Because of these two, we are not able to hold on to the self. Therefore, we are suffering. And then देखो, the beauty of the second line, I mean third and fourth line, the second aspect. The ugliness of the first thing is, with all its limitations, we have to identify with the upadhis. With all the struggles to make these upadhis happy, we have to work hard to procure the things, to maintain the things, to indulge in them, we have to involve in them. And with all that struggle, what we get is 1 paisa happiness, 99 paisa dukha. Samsar ki baat. But see the simplicity, the beauty of the other one is what? Just to look at and identify with, you get the infinite happiness. बस जुष्टम यदा पश्यति अन्यमेषम. पश्यति में देखो बस. देखो, जानो, and know that it is you are vitashoka. For here to become sukhi, how much struggle we are going through, and the outcome is dukhi only. Here, nothing to do at all. Just look at him and be that. Look at it, recognize it, and be that. उसके बाद कुछ करने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. You are liberated, free from all shock. इसलिए आत्मा को जानने से ही सारा शोक मुक्ति सुख प्राप्त. इन अनात्मा जानो, उसको चाहो, उसके लिए कोशिश करो, उसको पाओ, वो तुम्हारे साथ है, फिर भी उसी से दुख होता. You know it, you desire it, you struggle to get it, and you get it, and it is around you only to give you misery. Any example, you may like or may not like. A example of a own house, a example of a car, example of marrying, example of having child, example of starting any of the company. कुछ भी करो, you have to be unbiased to accept the fact. है ना? Like I desired for a car, and I struggled to get a car. Then I got the car, and it is in my own garage, and that is the cause of my dukkha, because I am not taking it out. Therefore सारे पार्ट्स वगैरह वो क्या है ना, अनयूज खराब हो जाते हैं, एंड आई कांट टेक आउट बिकॉज द पेट्रोल कॉस्ट इज सो मच. है ना, आई कांट माई सेल्फ ड्राइव, बिकेम ओल्ड. आई कांट अपॉइंट a driver because that much money I cannot afford. What I desired, what I put effort, what I got, that alone is giving dukh. Think about it. At a very higher, subtler level, this Manushya Sharira we only got by our own desire and that type of karma. And this Sharira, we are in it, now we are bound, we are suffering. That's why what is Naraka? As in the second or third question of Prashnottara Maniratnamala by the Shankara Bhagwan and his own answer, Swadeha. कि ना इसको छोड़ सकते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ अटैचमेंट टू इट, ना इसमें रहकर खुश हो सकते हैं क्योंकि इट हैज सो मेनी डिमांड्स. एवरी 2 आवर्स उसको खाना दो, एवरी 6 घंटे उसको नहा दो, एवरी 2-4 दिन कुछ तो बीमारी होते उसको ठीक करो, और कुछ भी करो थक जाता है उसको रेस्ट दे दो. द चाइल्ड स्मॉल, वो कभी कभी सो जाता है बेचारा, उससे थोड़ा मुक्ति मिलती है हमको. नॉट विद दिस बॉडी. दिस फेलो फिर 2 बजे रात को उठकर पेट दर्द बोलता है, या 2 बजे उठकर उसको भूख लगती है. नरक ओनली दिस शरीर, वी ओनली गॉट इट. See, whatever we are suffering with, things or beings or upadhis, we only with all our efforts ordered for it and we got it. Let us become subtler in these understandings because already it is so much delayed. बहुत लेट किया हमने, बहुत बहुत इतना लेट हो गया, अब इस समय बहुत कम है. Therefore now let us be wise to seek that eternal self. When it is obtained, nothing more remains to be obtained. And the self is just to be, that's it. You are already that. Just know it and abide in it. There's no struggle at all to achieve it because it is already achieved. There's no fear at all that it goes away because it is your own self where it will go away. And there's no fear that somebody will steal it. There's no fear that you have to give it to someone. These are there with the अनात्मा. शुद्ध आत्मा वस्तु से ऐसा कोई भी परिश्रम नहीं है, कोई भी भय नहीं है, कोई भी सीमाएं लिमिटेशंस नहीं. बस that become little subtler to grasp the presence of that self and more subtler to abide with it. And those things, those subtleties will come obviously with some upasanas, with some purifications, by following the inner and outer techniques and lifestyles as prescribed by those doctors of spirituality called rishis and gurus and shastras. The rishis are the doctors, the shastra jivana vidhan is the prescription. When we follow it, then that subtlety required, that sublimity required comes both to recognize that self and to abide in that self. हम बहुत पास में हैं सेल्फ के, बस बीच में एक अहंकार रूपी दीवार है, उसको तोड़ना है या दरवाजा बनाकर जाना है, बस हो गया. Self is not at all far. It is me only. No, how can it be far away? I am my own self. How can I be far away? The farness, the distance is in being gross, not subtle. Being multi-pointed, not single-pointed. Being not impure because of impure. So impurities निकालो, pure बनाओ, grossness को छोड़ subtle बनाओ, multi-pointed से single-pointed बनाओ. Then you will just see, I am already there. समझ में आता है ना तो वेदांत से आसान कुछ नहीं, नहीं समझ में आता तो उससे मुश्किल कुछ. और समझ ना समझ depends on our own inner heart purity, and that comes when you are with the guru, surrender to him, do what he says, don't do what you want to do. All these things follow obviously. So the first two lines told, samane vrukshe nimagnaha purushaha muhyamanaha purushaha anishaya shochati. संस्कृत में बताया है, इसको अब अपनी लैंग्वेज में समझो. I, with my body attachment, deluded that through that I can get sukha, while working for all that, becoming slave to anisha, nothing but becoming shochati dukkha. In Gita, today's tomorrow's shloka talks about it. And in a layman's language, that vehicle or that, house or that, child or that, friend or that, relation, to whom so much of money I gave, so much of time I gave, so much of pala posa bada kiya. Now that person only ditched me, left me and went away and made me miserable. Why don't you look at others who made pala posa and bada kiya and suffering with that only? How do you think it will be otherwise to you? And why don't you see the people who have pala posa bada kiya, their own atma jnanam, and they realized and they got liberated? Why don't you learn from them? Whoever have watered, nurtured, nourished their spiritual core in them, all of them having obtained that spiritual fruit of Atman, they got liberated. Unexceptional. Not even one is left behind. Just like everyone who wanted to become happy by nurturing and nourishing the Anatman and the Anatman related things, unequivocal terms, all of them suffered. If yet we are deluded not to understand, who can help us? दिस इज हाउ दी श्लोकास को बेस बनाकर हमारे जिंदगी में क्या हो रहा है सोचते हुए, क्या होना क्या नहीं होना समझकर, दैट व्हिच शुड नॉट हैपन ड्रॉप इट, दैट व्हिच शुड हैपन शुड टेक अप. दैट्स व्हाट इज द लाइफ. सो समाने वृक्षे पुरुषो निमग्नः अनेशया शोचति मुह्यमानः जुष्टं यदा पश्यत्यन्यमेषम् अस्य महिमानमिति वीतशोकः. So samane vrukshe means sharire. Purushaha means the whole definition is given. Bhokta avidya kama karma phalaragadi gurubhara akrantaha alaburiva samudra jale nimagnaha nischayena deha atma bhavam apannaha. And the expression of that dehatma bhava is Ayam eva aham amushya putra asya napta स्पुरुषः स्थूलः गुणवान निर्गुणः सुखी दुखी इति एवं प्रत्ययः. एंड कुछ बोलो उसको, न अन्यः अस्मात् न अन्यः अस्ति अस्मात् इति. एंड देन जायते म्रियते संयुज्यते च स्वमन्वि बान्धवैः. Now see, it is said in Sanskrit, but it is said so subtly, so beautifully, so completely, that if we know that bhasha, then we can feel how Shankara Bhagavan has picturized how the bondage invoked by the jiva for himself. है ना, उसको बताने का कोशिश जो ना, एवरी लैंग्वेज में लोग 100% सक्सेसफुल नहीं होते, दैट स्पीकिंग टीचर्स, because that's the beauty of Sanskrit Bhasha. Still we struggle. So tomorrow again we'll struggle to say how we, by ourselves becoming identified with the upadhis, living such type of life, we suffer, which we are doing every day, but that is brought to our notice through these words. Very, very touching, very clear is the picture that's given here. Then thereafter, then Justameda Pashatyanyamesham is a very complete sadhana to be taken up for ourselves to get freed from shoka, Vita shoka. From the Vitta shoka in English to Vita shoka of Sanskrit, we have to shift to. Good, the same topic is going on in Gita also. So Gita ka language thoda lighter, more accessible to us it is, because it's in just before Yuga, the Krita Yuga, Dwapara made it easy by Krishna for us. But all that said by Krishna in Gita is nothing but the Saramsha of the Upanishad. So let us this way give time every day for this spiritual thought and allow that to get deeply rooted in it. Let the seeds be sown, let the sown seeds be given the required atmosphere for them to sprout. Let the spiritual vruksha become gigantic to give us the phala of the Paramatma Anubhava, therefore, the freedom from all dukkha of the Anatma. Try, let us. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramarshubhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Namaha Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Let's spend some 20 minutes for Gita. Please join.